Hello everyone, we are live 5 minutes earlier just to give you time to come and settle. I am live from Indabo Cafe, which is located in beautiful Kiyovu, an older, beautiful neighborhood. If you've been to Rwanda or if you're in Rwanda, you know Kiyovu is where it's happening. Beautiful neighborhood. It's now 9 p.m. Let me know where you're watching from. I will try my best to respond to all the messages, ask questions. This is meant to be interactive. So as you come in, yeah, we are early. Try to read your comments. Well, we're live from different destinations right now. We are on YouTube. We are on LinkedIn as well. Welcome everyone. Say hello. And 4 minutes earlier than planned. And so we have a special guest as well. So let's make this one interactive. Let's make this one interactive. I'm trying to moderate as well. Say hello in the comments. Um, let's make this one a fun one and a quick one as well. For us in Kigali, it's now 9 p.m. guys. 9 p.m. in Kigali, live from Indabo Cafe in Kiyovu. So as you join, say hello um, in the comments. I'm sure anyone watching will be able to read. Anyone anywhere, say where you're watching from. I'm reading my messages here to see if I can moderate as well. So bear with me as we do this. But yeah, I'm gonna make this one an interactive one. 3 minutes to go, giving me time to come in and settle. And as I was saying, have a special guest. My apologies for that noise. Rwanda is live. You have to get used to this. And I'm sitting in a cafe, it's a public cafe, but I guess let me know how's the sound. It should not be that bad. All right. And so, oops, having my camera ready. Who's watching? Where are you? How is everyone? 30 days in Kigali. 30 days. 30 days. It's been 30 days in Kigali. We will get into it. Am I staying? Am I leaving? Looking forward to the conversation towards the end. Really looking to that conversation, guys. I still have 8 people watching. Gracias. Thank you. Morakoze. Thank you. Really, let's make this one interactive. I don't know where the comments will appear, but don't go anywhere. Go bring a friend. My apologies for the noise. I'm sitting in a coffee shop. I think they're blending something, right? They're probably blending something. But it's nice to be here. 30 days in Kigali. I'm still as excited as I was. So we'll dive into it. Get your questions ready. Questions welcome. If I don't see the questions because of the different platforms we are on, that's okay. We will get to it. Do ask questions. I want to see questions. Lots of questions. All right. Bring a friend. Grab a cup of coffee, tea, wine. All right. Shall we get started? What would you like to know? I hope that blender is gonna end soon. All right. 30 days in Kigali. I feel it's a massive achievement. Even though Rwanda is home, there's always this um, sort of thinking that when we did diaspora, when we return home, and I'm speaking for myself, if anyone else in the diaspora share the same feeling, let me know. But there's always this idea that when we return home, Rwanda, speak a bit louder. Ooh, how loud? This loud. There is this blender here. Hopefully, it's gonna end soon, and they will be able to continue. Are they blending something? Okay, they are blending. Okay, there you go. Maybe now it's gonna be better. I think that was why. Let me know. Thank you, Yuli. Thank you. Thank you for that. How about my voice now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. That's a challenge when you're in a public place, but let me know. How is the voice? How is the sound now? Can you confirm that this is much clearer? We no longer have that blender noise. Oh, another one. Oh boy. What are they blending? I think they are cooking something. Um, Hello, how is everyone? Please, my apologies. I'm muted. How am I muted? Um, I should not be muted as far as I'm concerned. But there is this sound that was playing. I'm in a public cafe, but okay, let me know how is the sound. Watching from YouTube. All right, I should not be muted. I muted the sound on YouTube so I don't hear myself. That's all. All right, everyone. Okay, good. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Welcome on LinkedIn. It's fine. I have a confirmation. It's fine. Ask you questions. I can see the questions. I want to see you questions. 30 days in Rwanda. Around this time in October, I landed in Kigali. On YouTube, they can't hear me. All right, that's a problem. Okay, let's go there. Can you check your sound because you can hear me? I can hear me. Okay. Okay, someone is playing with things here. Anyway, okay, people who are gonna say those mean things, we're not going to allow those. All right, no abusive language on YouTube, please. All right, guys. So let's go. All right, let's fix this. Um, we are going to continue. Where were we? All right, welcome everyone. We're gonna have a guest, special guests. It's gonna be an interesting conversation. They were blending things. I'm in a coffee shop, and now people are having a chat. Welcome to Rwanda. That's how it goes. You gotta get used to all this ambiance. It's part of the experience. So get your questions, ask questions. We have about wow, 15 minutes of this. Uh, Background noise, but if you can hear me. So 30 days in Rwanda. Let me get back to the topic of why I'm doing this because I wanted to share the journey so they can be inspired if you're thinking of coming here. Now, does anyone have a plan to come to Rwanda? So I arrived on about November. In my case, I had some specific goals to achieve, at least in the first month. As a public speaker, I was looking for speaking opportunities, which I believe I achieved because I spoke at two or three conferences. I was also looking to build my network from scratch because since I'm from Rwanda, um, I'm looking to reconnect with my roots. And as a diaspora who's been away, even though I came back 2, 3 years ago, it's really 28 years not living permanently in the country. My biggest learning. Oh my goodness. I think I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I am still learning. It's only a month. But I would say right now, it's be patient because as much as I'm from here, well, I grew up here. It's a new environment, it's a new culture, and there's a lot to learn in terms of how things work, business wise, relationship wise, but business wise mostly. But patience is one, because sometimes we want things to go faster, especially if we've lived in Canada for a while. We are really used to this quickly, quickly, like the guy in the Goma once said. Thank you for that question. And so, as I was saying, my KPIs as a public speaker was to get conferences going, build network, and also launch my startup. I wanted to launch my platform from Rwanda. And so it was built, and I believe I managed to launch the platform. There was actually a good plan in the way that in the end did not work out. What was that plan? Keep watching until the end or later on, but I will share that towards the end. And so I met a lot of innovative, entrepreneurial, passionate people in Rwanda in such a short time, and I hope that continues because right now in Vancouver, in Canada, it's winter and we don't see a lot of activities, especially in my world, startup world, until May, June, July. And next year, we are hosting FIFA. And coming to Rwanda was also intentionally to be at the center of what is being built. So, in that capacity, I attended Africa Week. That was amazing. If you're at Africa Week, comment, let me know how it went. I'm speaking as loud, biggest learning. Keep coming those questions. And so, when you move to a new place, of course, the biggest challenge we all face when you relocate is how do you get yourself settled again, and how do you get your life move on, how do you get your life back, um, what's the better word, like for the better word, but you need to get certain things done. In this case, you need to replace your income, you need to find shelter, you need to understand what's going on around, you need to position yourselves really so for the long run, because if that does not happen, then eventually you can do one thing, is go back where you came from, which is very interesting because I'm from here. And so, ooh, that's a good question. um, Patience, I think, generally speaking, Africa, East Africa, I mean, I think what I keep hearing is that patience has to happen when you are on the continent of Africa, but we're talking about 54 countries, and so I can only speak to Rwanda. However, when I met, I was at the Asante, which was the Africa Conference on Innovation, from Kenya. We were supposed to start at, I believe, 8. I showed up at 7 because that's what my email said. And the conference did not start until close to 11. And so I think East Africa is applicable because this was a Kenyan driven. Nothing against the organizers, but I think time will move different in this place of the world. So based on that specific lived experience, because I don't like to make up things, I like to quote facts, I would say that yeah, um, definitely, you definitely have to be patient, not just in Rwanda, but in other places in East Africa. And so most of us from the diaspora, African diaspora, myself included, when we come back home and things don't work out, I mean, I've survived for 30 days. My apologies, I've been fighting a cough. That's normal. We tend to go back where we were. That's interesting because technically we should stay where we are now because that's our home. What do you guys think? We should stay here. And I would like to stay here and succeed here because my apologies again, they are doing some blend. Yeah, thank you, Oli. I appreciate it. I wish everyone was asking that. Uh, you definitely have to not necessarily downsize. You need to rethink how you approach it differently. Because, for example, and I can tell you this based on my time here, things sometimes they will not go the right way. For example, I was supposed to hold my live in my house because my tenant, my landlord, uh, has Wi-Fi included. But hold and behold, somehow Wi-Fi is not paid yet. I don't know why. I mean, it ends towards the end of the month, and so flexibility is definitely required. I had to be flexible and find a solution, or else not hold my life. And the solution was to find at a cafe. And as you can see, as much as they know I'm here, they are just chatting, which it's okay, but reduce the volume. And so, definitely patience. Patience will make a lot of things. Um, will make it, I guess, easier. But that being said, when you look around Rwanda and Kigali specifically, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of things to do, be it in there are many sectors that are being tagged. One of the biggest one is in health tech, in agriculture, agri-tech. We are seeing that. Of course, there's tourism in my sector. Uh, and so anyone who is interested in being part of this ecosystem, let's put it that way, because there's many capacity. Not everybody can come here as an investor or a founder. I think the ecosystem needs different partners, different skills, and you see that around Kigali. Kigali is being built from grounds up, which is amazing. So I will definitely invite you who have not been to Kigali to come and see for yourself. Because sometimes people um, they just believe what they see in the news versus being on the ground. I think when you are on the ground, you see for yourself and you decide, just like I've done. It may work, it may not, but I will know that at least I've been here on the ground 30 days now. Moving on to the another 30 days. Let's see what happens in the next 30 days. Excited for that. That being said, let me bring my guests who just visited Kigali to share about his journey and to give a fresh voice so that it's not just me. And so, if my guest is watching, please join and you can share your experience in Kigali. You should still have the access code, the access link. Please join so that people can have a balance of thoughts. Because so we're doing this. If you're gonna watch this later, feel free to comment so that we can respond. Now, where is while we wait for the guests, can you confirm while we wait? Guys, I also have my Patreon now where you can come and follow my journey. All right, welcome. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can.
My ambiance is different than yours. Mine is lively. Do you miss Kigali?
Yes, I miss Kigali. I
Tell us
miss
you
I,
miss.
mi- I miss Rwanda.
And so tell us who you are and what you were doing in Kigali and how long you spent here. Just that, and then other questions will flow. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Charles. My name is Uli, and I visited Kigali during the last 1.5 weeks for the first time. I am based in Sweden, in Stockholm, in Sweden. And my trip and travel to Kigali was pretty spontaneous. I was planning to visit a friend, and I did. A friend who lives in Kigali since 2 years. And you can still hear me, Charles?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. The floor is yours. I'm giving you the whole platform. Just go
Okay.
away. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
There's
thanks.
I'm watching this streaming technology and the LinkedIn coverage. There's some time lag. That's why. Okay. So I visited my friend on very short notice. So it was a private trip, but I made it somehow business oriented because I thought to myself, let me try and mingle with people. Let me try and get to meet some other people from a business perspective to learn more about Rwanda, to learn more about Kigali, the people living there and the people doing business there. So I did. I just reached out to basically anybody that I could go get hold of. And I was grateful for you, Charles, answering back and meeting. So, what was my main experience in Kigali? And I think it is about opportunities. I feel that Rwanda is on the rise, and it's on the rise for a specific reason. And the specific reason is the culture, I think, the mindset, the probably leadership from a government and political perspective. Now, I would like you listeners to understand that my experience in Kigali is very, very brief and short. It's just a subjective view that I have based on a few days. But what I did get a sense of during that short time is that people are eager to develop, people are willing to move. I also attended the Africa World Congress, where investors and startups came together. And I spoke to a few founders that came from mainly Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. And I was positively surprised and amazed by the startup culture, by the level of innovation, by the forward thinking, uh, everything, and the level of, how should I put it, the level of quality and the level of um, aspiration, which is probably the same from what I'm used to in Europe, in Sweden or Germany. Um, but the big
So,
difference in Rwanda is the mindset of the people, the willingness to roll up the sleeves and get it done, whatever needs to be get done. And
yeah,
I
absolutely.
and I think everything is on a positive trajectory, and that is very outstanding compared to what I notice in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just read a comment from George Herman. Thank you for the comment, by the way. He says it's another world. I lived there since 1997, but it's a beautiful world with beautiful people, but things go indeed much slower, and time is money, and not yet understood here in Kigali. I guess you are here still. That said, you have different mentalities here. People who come back from the Congo, for instance, are different some ways from the people who never live elsewhere than Rwanda. You'll meet Rwandans from Canada, woohoo, Bujumbura, and Uganda. It's and I guess that's essentially the beauty of Rwanda. It feels like it's like a melting pot in so many ways. Because even us as Rwandans, as he's saying, we are so many places, right? Because I was born in Kinshasa myself, and so in some ways I'm not really the same with sort of Rwanda. But speaking back to you, I was thinking the other day about my journey, me coming to Rwanda, right? Because sometimes I question myself, like, was I insane to just leave my life in Canada and return to Rwanda? And you came to my mind because I was like, when we connected and we did that beautiful talk at Fika Cafe, an interview. So, highly recommend that people go watch that. I think it was a beautiful chat. Also available, you can tell us on your channel to go and follow you. And what came to my mind, and not just you, but it's like, where else would we have met? And go figure, we met in Kigali, not in Sweden where you live, not in Canada where I live, but we met in Rwanda. What does that mean for you coming to actually to it's called the Africa Week, Norsken, and reaching out to me because if I had stayed in Canada, we never have met. So what does that mean that Rwanda brought two people from two different worlds, many beautiful culture, and we connected in Kigali and we had an amazing time. We shared a beautiful drink. What does that mean?
It means two things, Charles.
Yes.
One, that you have to be there. You have to go there. You have to experience it. Opening up virtual opportunities is great, but you have to be there. And number two, Rwanda is the place to be. Kigali is the place to be. So I visited Miami earlier this year from a business perspective. And I said to myself, Miami is the place to be because there are great vibes. There's a lot of energy. And I'm not taking that back. But now being in Kigali, I would add Kigali is the place to be. So actually, as a matter of fact, I think Kigali is the place to be if you want to do business or if you want to invest in Africa or maybe more specifically in East Africa. What I did notice is that people from Uganda and Kenya and Congo, they come to Rwanda. So Rwanda is developing to become a hub for East Africa. And from what I read in the news, Rwanda wants to become the hub for the whole of Africa. And I myself, I am from Kenya. Maybe I should have added that before. So I don't look like I am from Kenya, but as a matter of fact, I am. I was raised in Kenya for the first 9 years of my life. I'm 50 years old now. So I spent the majority of my life, around 40 years, outside of Kenya, but I did spend the first 9 years of my life in Kenya, which makes me feel from an intuition point of view, feel the Kenyans and understand the Kenyans. But of course, my business mindset was shaped in Europe, which doesn't make me really understand East Africa from a business perspective. But my experience and my intellectual, capacity of analyzing and reflecting on my trip to Kigali and visiting the Norskin event and being engaged in other business talks during my week in Kigali, I feel like I can judge, at least for me, and I can share with you, that Rwanda is a place with a strong development in the past already, and I think that development will accelerate even faster because now we live in times of even faster innovation, even faster technological developments. We live in the era of AI, or we're in the beginning of the era of AI. And I think Rwanda understands this, the political system in Rwanda, and I feel the people too. In Rwanda, they understand that there's a huge opportunity for Rwanda to develop even much quicker. And I feel this is a given in this country at the moment. And I feel that it's unique and special to Rwanda. And now next time, maybe I try Kenya and Uganda to see what is happening there. But my sense tells me Rwanda is special.
And so, just one last question, maybe in twofold. Now that you've been in Rwanda, yes, short time frame, but you've seen, were you here for about a week or so? And being based in Europe and knowing how sometimes the perception of Rwanda does not match what you witnessed, I believe. So, what would you say to the people who still think that, all right, Rwanda is not this, Rwanda is not safe, what's going on there? That now you've been on the ground, so that they can really believe and maybe make the next trip to Rwanda within a short time, because they're still non-believers, right? And that's still one of the challenge. Even I, who is in tourism in Canada, I hear comments that don't quite match what's on the ground.
No, you're absolutely right, Charles. The information that we Europeans, and I can probably also speak for the Americans, that we get about Africa is very, very much specific to the way you said it when we spoke. We have to save Africa. And the reality is, Africa does not need to be saved. Africa needs investments in order to develop. And that's probably the only thing Africa doesn't have. And that's the only thing Africa is behind the Western world. It's the investments. But there are so many other factors that play a role when it comes to developing and when it comes to building businesses and innovation, which has to do with knowledge and with capabilities and willingness of people. And of course, education, where Africa is not behind it. So,
absolutely.
And now I spoke about Africa in general, but if we speak about Rwanda specifically, I would probably say there is no information about Rwanda anywhere in Europe, which means that Rwanda doesn't even exist for Europeans. It's a small country. Why would it even be on the radar? But it absolutely should, independent of any agendas or hidden agendas. if I repeat myself, if you want to do business or if you want to innovate in Africa, you need to go to Rwanda and check for yourself. I made a post a few days ago on LinkedIn, and I was saying that you'd be a fool to not consider Rwanda if you want to do business in Africa.
Say that again.
You you would be a fool to not consider Rwanda if you want to do business in Africa. Now, I can't tell anybody in your specific case, Rwanda is the place to go. Who am I? I have no clue about your individual's, the listener's idea or strategies or concepts. But what I can say from a meta position is if you want to do business in Africa, you have to consider Rwanda. You have to look into it.
I agree. Thank you, George, for your beautiful comments. The white savior complex remains one of the biggest headache I have. Respectfully, I love everybody in the world, but I don't go to Canada and start to impose my way of seeing things. I have to respect the culture, not just in Canada, but everywhere I travel, including Japan. I always respect the way of the land and the locals and so on. Uli, do you have one last thing to add before I let you go?
Um, I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you invited me to this talk and that you got back to me when asking you to meet. It's opportunities like these, it's meetings like these that bring everybody forward. And I would like to encourage you to continue your work. You are only at the beginning, and I would like to encourage you to do more live sessions like these or like this, because the more you do, the more everybody will learn about Rwanda. So thank you, Charles, for what
Thank
you're
you
doing.
for being here on such short notice. For those of you who don't know, I asked him, he said yes. It was short notice. The next one we should have is George. I will be pleasure to have you, George, on the next live. And so good night. And you made it because it's what is it? I want the same time zone here with you where you are. My
In
time
in
zone is all over.
in in most parts of Europe, it's 1 hour earlier, so it's 8:30 in the evening.
All right. Thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate it. And we'll stay in touch. And now
I,
you are a friend of Rwanda forever.
yes, I am. Thank you,
Thank
Charles.
you.
Bye bye.
All right. That was really a good friend that we just met in Kigali. I thought we met. George, you are next. Let's connect. I really would like to have a proper interview with you. We will connect on LinkedIn and maybe go for coffee. So, guys, yeah, it's been now 30 minutes. Thank you for watching. I appreciate. I'm still here. Um, so if you're watching this, I believe I can contribute in so many other ways. Sometimes I feel guilty because I think Africa, or Rwanda specifically, they need. Honestly, it feels like when we come back from the diaspora, it's not necessarily um, our skill and knowledge that we can contribute. It feels that the need is more financial, which we try, but most of us in the diaspora are now wealthy. We've worked really hard while supporting families. And so when we come here, we don't necessarily have a bag full of money. What can you say? So should we stay until we make that money? And many of us in the diaspora, they are working multiple jobs to support themselves where they are. I know that for a fact, while as well sending money at home. And so there's a bit of me feeling um, guilty, and sometimes people they do expect me to do things beyond my financial means. I also have a family to feed, and so those perceptions. And so as a diaspora, then you find yourself stuck between those two worlds um, because you're like, all right, where do I belong here? And I know I speak for many of us in the diaspora. Where do I belong? And most of us, we come home with good intentions. Some of us make it kudos, but others don't, and we run back where we were. I'm getting emotional. It's not easy. It's not for everyone. It's not easy, and unfortunately, never is the right moment to say I'm coming back home. If I had waited for the right moment, I would never have a return. Now that I'm here, I'm sure all eyes are following my journey, and rightly so. That's why I opened my Patreon to share. There are things that we cannot not do, and so I'm smiling. But definitely there are challenges as much as there are opportunities. But you have to pass those challenges to reach those opportunities. And so you heard my good friend Uli, and you heard what also George says. I think this is where we are. This is where the opportunities are. So I shall continue to the next 30 days. And even if I don't succeed in establishing myself here, I'm proud that I've tried for the time that I will be here. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go and subscribe to my Patreon, and really get one of those membership plan so that I can get um, on producing content. I always produce content, but that also takes time, valuable time, and so it will make sense that we see recognition for the work that we are doing, and I can continue to inspire, especially the youth of Rwanda that is in need of employment. Bakeneye akazi pe. Um, it takes a village, as we say, and so let's see if I can hopefully have that village around me anytime soon. Good night. Have a great day. If you watch later, comment, tell me what you think, reach out. I wish you a beautiful week and a great month of December. We may have another live soon. Ta-da.